I'll say it's your boy MKS here, back in another video. And what was I going to say? Sorry, lost my thought. Not the best start, is it? Today I've been just like I was yesterday. I've been knackered, as we say here in the UK. I think that's a Cockney term I've said in the past, but I've been knackered, battered, shattered. What terms you can use? Knackered, shattered, basically tired, battered, emotionally drained or whatever. But actually it's been a good result football wise though. But I'll come to that a bit later, possibly in point number 7 and point number 11, but I'll try and focus as much as I can on the topic at hand. But I did want to change my bed. I went to strip and remake my bed, and which I've been planning to do since New Year, and it's already the 11th, and obviously tomorrow will be the 12th, partly because of my patterns with it being the 11th, which is, I think, of like changing numbers and a change. I wish I had more energy, but I wish that would change. My fortunes change in that way, but I've been tired for a long time. But yeah, I've just not had the energy or motivation to like strip and remake my bed. And a nice side story. But yeah, for a new month, actually with it being the 11th as well, and the fact I haven't done it since New Year's, and I'll try not to be too depressive, I promise, but too depressing. But yeah, just trying to push myself and motivate myself. If you can think of any motivational quotes, please let me know in the comments. I said before recently that these videos really, I'd love to have as many subscribers and viewers as possible on my YouTube and Facebook. Well, Facebook obviously you can't subscribe to it, but if people send me a friend request, I have to know who they are or where they are sending it, because there's lots of scams out there as well. But so I'm a bit worried about that. Otherwise, I'd accept everyone as a friend or whatever. But yeah. But yeah, I've lacked that motivation. But I was thinking, because today's 11th, and also a Wednesday, so I think of like Wash Wednesday, another one of my silly patterns. So 11, a changing number, and Wash Wednesday. And then another thing is, I'm not sure whether to say that in this. I might just say this before I move on to the list. I think it's symbolically number 1. But anyway. On Wednesdays, a lot of time, well, next year, hopefully, I would have done it this year, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because I've got this plan that I've already set up. But on Wednesdays, I think of like worldwide, world class, and that kind of thing. So I think of connecting the Black diaspora around the world together. Whether that's in business, politics, tech, STEM generally, poetry, art, writing, learning from each other, writing together, collaborating on ideas and projects or whatever it is, and allies like myself try and help as well. And for this, but for tonight, technically it was supposed to be for today, but it took me ages to get around to it. But I have been writing the list in my black notebook, and I symbolically, this is for a black empowerment, and I hope to gift it to members of the black community, either here, well, probably here in Britain because it'd be easier. But if I travel to America, I'd be able to give it to African Americans. But so I lost my train of thought again. Sorry, but yeah, I hope to gift this to members of the black community, possibly Black Britons. But if I get travel to America, I'll give it to African Americans. But I don't know if people will be able to read and decipher my handwriting and code or whatever. But maybe I'd have to read it to them as well. Do a reading of my writing for them, but it would be like a present. And this is supposed to have ideas to benefit the black community, including like leaving the blank pieces here for black artists to draw on. But I might cover that more next week. But I'm going to try and crack onto the list. But yeah, so number 1, as I say before, I want to focus on. I'm not doing all right, sorry. I want to focus on. Brain's trying to work on black poets for today, and next week black artists. So I jumped ahead of myself there talking about the art, and the week after black writers on Wednesdays. If I didn't have those plans already, I would have talked about like a worldwide black diaspora for supporting each other in poetry, art, writing, and places like that, but areas like that, fields like that, but also politics, business, tech, STEM, and all sorts of things like that. So a black network worldwide. But anyway, onto the list. Tracy K. Smith, number 1, Tracy K. Smith. Now, I've tried to focus as much as I can on African American poets for a certain reason, which is that in October last year, I focused on I did the same thing, but for Black Britons. So I tried to focus more on Black Britons because I thought I'm going to try and do this more than likely in February. So thinking ahead, I thought I wanted to focus more on Black Britons then in October because it's Black History Month here in Britain in October. But to focus more on African Americans, Black people across America or even the Americas maybe, but especially America itself in February. But I have thought in some of this list, I might not have researched it quite as well as I'd like. I might not have checked whether they're actually African American or just Black. But it is Black History Month, so it is to celebrate Black writers. And another thing is, I also wanted to focus on contemporary. That's a big word for me. I think that means current ones who are still alive and well and functioning and still doing poetry, or at least are not deceased or whatever. But I guess the idea is to celebrate and to learn from and be inspired, or help Black people to be inspired by other Black writers. So I hope that makes sense. Moving on, number 2, Natasha Trethaway. I hope I pronounce these names right, and I hope that I'll be able to read my own writing. The source for this, by the way, was Google. Dare I say, other search engines are available, as they say, but I think they have to say that on the BBC here in Britain. But yeah, I use Google. Obviously, other people can use other search engines, but I hope these videos will inspire people to check out these writers. But I typed up African American poets and things like that. I typed up like 40 African American poets and Black poets and all that kind of thing from around the world and different things like that. So I hope to encourage people to check out that kind of thing. And anyway, before I move on to point number 3, to poet number 3, I will say Trethaway. I think if I spelled it right, is Trethewey. Moving on, number 3, Jericho Brown. Now I didn't write much about these people, but again, I hope to inspire people to use. I was in a bit of a rush and I was a bit tired and I wanted to get this done, so I'm way behind schedule as usual. So I didn't really write much about, or if anything, about pretty much all of them. But I hope people will Google them and check them out and check out their poetry. Number 4, Nikki Giovanni. I've got to admit that sounds more of an Italian name to me, but she is listed as an African American writer. I'm not sure if Giovanni is her real name or not, but that's what I read on Google. I did mention before when I talked about Black Wall Street and things like that, I've talked about how I'd love for, thinking about number 4, I'd love to think about number 3. I think of like Black people writing about freedom, anti-slavery and things like that, perhaps, and making up for the history of slavery by supporting them, which is, I suppose, one of the reasons why I want to support African Americans and celebrate Black history and that kind of thing, to see what they've overcome, basically. I suppose to support the underdog, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, I think of number 4 as like, in my case, anti-war. So I'd love to see Black people writing poetry, in this case, let's say, about anti-war. Come think about it. And I think instead of joining the military, it'd be cool if they support their own poets and things like that, for instance, or whatever. Number 5, Rita Dove. Number 6, Elizabeth Alexander. Number 7, Terence Hayes. I almost forgot to say although it's been a very tiring day today. I was listening to the football. I did, or soccer for any Americans out there, as I normally say. For those who haven't seen my previous videos, in case I get any new viewers, hopefully. But as I say, I think people who support African Americans should all support my channel, because if I do get to monetize it, in this case, I would donate any profits I made to supporting African Americans. But yeah, a little bit off topic again, but in terms of soccer or football or whatever you want to call it, Celtic, one of my favourite teams, was, I don't know my point to this, but black and green, sorry. Green and white, sorry, brain's not working. Gosh, what's wrong with me? Green and white, Celtic playing green and white, not black and white, or not black and red, or whatever I was saying. Celtic playing green and white, so this kind of reminds me of it because it's green. I know I'm wearing an AC Milan cap because I love Italian soccer too. But yeah, Celtic was, well, we weren't losing, but at one point I misread it on Google and I thought Celtic were winning 1-0, which we were, but then I thought our rivals, the Rankers, I call them, were losing 1-0, but I thought it's a bit early to celebrate anyway. And then I found out it was the Rankers were winning 1-0 anyway. And apparently their opposition, Motherwell, reminds me of when people ask the question, is your Motherwell? Uh, they had missed loads of chances and had a player sent off, but then Celtic conceded a goal on a penalty, and then we went on to finally score a winning goal with a new signing. So it's pretty cool. And then I heard the Rankers conceded a goal, or they went to VAR, but thankfully it stood. So even though the Motherwell went down to 10 minutes and apparently missed loads of chances and had loads of possession before that, they went on. I thought it was going to be one of those days, but at one point it looked like Celtic were going to draw and drop points, and the Rankers were going to win, when it was completely opposite. So it was pretty cool in the end. So that's been the highlight of my night. Technically a night kickoff. Our kickoff was at 7:45, and theirs was at 8:00. So sorry for the nice light story again, but I just want to say that. But yeah, other than that, I've been really quite tired today. Although I've been quite interested in reading about and finding out about black success stories. But anyway, I'm going to crack on back to this. I think that covers everything for now. We're still behind Hearts, as I would rather maturely call them, Hearts, in the league. But hopefully, I'd love for us to turn that around, just like I'd love for the Italian national team to turn around their situation. But anyway, I'm going to crack on back to the list for now anyway. So number 8, Kevin Young. Number 9, Patricia. Sorry, right there. Patricia Smith. And finally for this list, number 10, Major Jackson. And again, I don't know if that's their real name, but that's the name they go by. So yeah, sorry, I was very tired and stumbling on words and getting mixed up or whatever. But I hope this list has inspired or will inspire in the future. Has and sure will inspire in the future. Hopefully I'll get a few views, and hopefully it will inspire black people to believe in themselves as poets. Again, I tried to focus on African American poets, but some of them might be from Africa, Britain, or the Caribbean, or wherever else. So I thought it could mix up a bit, but the main focus on African Americans mainly. Peace and love, and I'm out. I need to go for a walk, get some air. I guess I haven't been out all day.